Dead of Darkness is the kind of title that screams pure pulp horror. The kind of title you'd expect to see plastered on the cover of an 80s direct-to-VHS horror. You know the kind, on the shelf in the dark corner of the store you'd rent for the weekend, watch on repeat with your best mate, and then talk about for years, even if it wasn't any good. But instead of a movie, it's strapped onto a 2D survival horror title, the type we might call a love letter to greats of genres past. Dead of Darkness takes us back to a time when survival horror ruled the roost, and you couldn't take 2 steps outside of your front door without being accosted by any number of games trying to cash in on the genre's success. The game is bathed in the tropes of old-school survival horror, from the story to the various gameplay mechanics. It's like a mashup between Resident Evil and Alone in the Dark, with a bit of cosmic folk horror thrown in for good measure. Like any good pulp horror story, Dead of Darkness provides us with a colourful cast of characters in a significantly ominous location. A damaged ex-cop turned drunken private eye? Check. A mysterious, isolated island chock full of secrets? Check. A strange family that aren't all they seem to be? Check. Armies of monstrous abominations stalking the darkness? Double check. Set in 1985, Dead of Darkness throws you into the shoes of a reluctant PI. When a letter arrives asking him to come to Velvet Island for answers surrounding his daughter's death, Miles Windham doesn't hesitate to grab the next ferry out. But things on the island are about to go from bad to worse, when a scream shatters the dead of night. Instead of throwing us into a classic whodunit, Dead of Darkness propels us headfirst into a creature feature as monstrous forms roam the island in mansion hallways, tearing apart anyone foolish enough to get close. The shambling horrors are only the beginning, though, and, as the night crawls on, nastier creatures come looking for a snack, too. Does the island harbour the truth Miles needs? Will he even survive to find it? The only way you're going to know is to run through Velvet Island's death trap locations, and thankfully, the game's story is its single strongest element pushing you forward. This twisty, turny tale is powered by some great voice acting as well, though, be warned, like Still Wakes the Deep, there's surprisingly adult language chucked your way at times. And while the usual Resident Evil-like ne'er-do-well corporation conspiracies do make an appearance, the bulk of the narrative, also fleshed out through plenty of letters, is a really good tale and well worth the time to explore. Gameplay is traditional survival horror to the T, just in a top-down isometric 2D world. There are plenty of items to collect, locked doors needing specific keys, there are puzzles to solve, and not enough ammo to go around. Some of the best moments are built around puzzle solving, which lets you combine clues with items to do so. While there's nothing here that will cause the old brain pan to overheat, they're a nice filler to the rest of the gameplay, which is as traditional as can be, though not always for the best. Item management, along with an unhealthy amount of back and forth between locations, will be taking up most of your playtime as you struggle to manage what you need for a specific task versus what you need to keep yourself from keeling over. One nice addition to the map system is that any room you haven't cleared or collected everything in remains coloured red on your map, along with doors that need specific colour-coded keys. This way, you're never lost as to where you still have to explore or complete an objective. The problem, of course, is that inventory space is limited to a measly 8 slots. You can chuck items into the storage crate in every save room, which synchronizes its contents across all crates, but it doesn't stop you from having to run around picking up and dropping off items all the time. Your weapon selection may be limited, but you're going to have to juggle that along with ammo and health pickups, which left me with only 2 open slots most of the time. And because monsters can respawn or get swapped out for different ones in areas you've already cleared, you don't want to be left short of ammo. Ammo is certainly in short supply, not so much because there isn't enough to pick up, but more because enemy damage seems to be randomized. When your regular flesh-eating zombie things can take between 3 to 5 pistol shots to go down, those 70 rounds of ammo you've picked up disappear pretty quickly. The shotgun, thankfully, packs a nice, meaty and disgusting punch, especially on more common grunts that it turns into misty gibbets with ease. Weapons can be upgraded, but that random element means that I didn't notice as much difference in stopping power as I would have liked. There are multiple difficulty settings to choose from, but honestly, I only noticed about 1 bullet difference between normal and easy most of the time. The amount of back and forth does damage to the game's pacing as well. During a second playthrough, after a consistent and unavoidable crash was patched, I found the pacing more enjoyable as I already knew where to go and what to do, thus cutting the tiring backtracking. This did wonders for improving the pacing. While I admire the developer's desire to make a truly retro experience, certain elements were best left in the past. One of the other aspects I enjoyed, even if it meant sacrificing an item slot, was the sanity meter. Every successful monster attack doesn't only damage your health, but your sanity. There are items to help restore it, but the game does throw in some cool insanity effects when it starts to get low, like creepy voices and the game seeming to crash. Beware though, if your sanity drains completely, you can die. Combat may divide players. As with classic games, you can't move while shooting or reloading, so you have to use the environment to your advantage during combat, and boss fights revolve around observing attack patterns. In general, combat just feels very basic. It's effective, but doesn't get the blood pumping. And while there's guts and gore galore, Dead of Darkness isn't very scary at all, even with some insta-death sections that I could have done without. This may be a buzzkill for some, but the general overall enjoyment of the game goes a long way to making up for a lot of its flaws. On that note, another potential issue for some will be the pixel art that, although nice to look at, is far less detailed than what we've come to expect from many indie games lately. It does a bit of disservice to the monster designs and animations, but, like the combat, the visuals are serviceable. Overall, retro fiction games Dead of Darkness is an ambitious title in the 2D survival horror genre. While the combat may be passable and the pacing could be better, it's buoyed by a great story, good voice acting, and fun puzzles that mostly manage to capture the best parts of survival horror's past. If you've got this far, please consider giving the video a like and maybe subscribing to our channel as it helps us grow.